The next thing we're going to do is grab our ruler, place it at the top of the paper, and find the nearest inch from the second row of circles. So in my case, it is going to be the 4-inch mark. I am then going to draw a little line just so I can remember. Then I will measure an inch down from that, so number 5, and do another little line. I will then move my ruler to the opposite side of the paper and do the exact same thing. This will help me draw straight lines. Once we're done with that, we're going to take our ruler again and we're going to place it horizontally on the paper where we did the 4-inch mark. So it's going to touch both of our 4-inch mark. The line is going to be straight and we're going to make a little mark at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are going to then move our ruler to the bottom and do the exact same thing we just did. Placing a ruler again where we did the 4-inch line, we are going to draw a line from the 1st inch to the 6th inch. So we're going to have a very straight line. We're going to do the very same thing at the bottom, and then we're going to connect the line we did at the 1 to the 1, line we did at the 2 with the 2, 3 with the 3, 4 with the 4, 5 with the 5, 6 with the 6. So that is going to create us a nice value scale. We will then grab our eraser and erase all of the little excess that we created. And then with a marker, we are going to number all of the boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are going to look at the circles we did in video 1. And we are going to start with the complementary colors, yellow and purple. So under 1, we're going to write yellow. And under 5, we're going to write down purple. We are going to then draw a quick arrow between the two. We are going to then color in the yellow box with yellow and the purple box with purple. Make sure we cannot see the paper underneath. We are going to then go on box 2 and start with a yellow base and darken it with its complementary color purple. So we start with a light yellow base. We're not going to push very hard with our pencil. And then we are going to add a very light layer of purple. Once we are done with that, we are going to grab our yellow pencil again and go on top of it just to smooth it out, blend it better together. As you can see, box 2 is going to look slightly darker than box 1. We are going to then grab our purple pencil again, go on box 4, and do the exact same thing we did in box 2 but with opposite colors. So we're going to start with a light layer of purple, go on top of it with a light layer of yellow, and then finish it up with blending with the purple again. This is going to make our purple look even darker. So for box number 3, what we're going to do is start with yellow again. We are going to apply a little bit more pressure than we did in box 2. And then we are going to grab our purple again, apply a little bit more pressure than we did in box number 2. And we will do another layer on top. And then we will finish it up again with yellow. As you can see, box number 3 is going to be darker than 2, but a little bit lighter than 4. We are going to then create another value scale right below this one. So we are going to grab our ruler again. I usually measure about 1/2 inch between the first one and the second one. So I'm going to do a little line at the 1/2 inch. And then I am going to go to the 1.5 inches and draw another little line. I am going to do the same thing under the 5th square of the first one. And we are going to connect the top lines and the bottom lines together. We will then use the lines we used above to create our little square slots. We are going to align our ruler with the top lines and draw them. So we are going to do that for every single square. This one is going to be our red and green complementary color scales. So we're just going to quickly write that down. So under the first one is going to be red. Under the 5th one is going to be green. Draw the little arrow in the middle. And then we are going to start coloring in our red and our green. So square 1 is going to be colored in red. So just make sure we cannot see the paper underneath. Since I already have the red in my hand, I am just going to start creating the base for 2 and 3 since they're both going to be red. So I'm just going to keep the pencil kind of light and start creating those 2 bases. I am then going to grab my green and color in square number 5 fully in green, and then I will just start creating the base for square number 4. I am also going to add a layer of green to square number 3. I am just going to use a decent amount of pressure, medium amount of pressure, just to cover it up. With our green, we're going to then lightly color in on top of number 2 as well. We are going to then grab our red again and blend in on top of number 2 and on top of number 3. So number 2 is going to look a little bit darker than number 1, and number 3 is going to look darker than number 2. We are going to then add a light layer of red to number 4 just to blend in that green. And as you can see, you can turn your paper around to help you color in and stay within the edges better. And once you're done with the red, add the green top layer to create a darker green than number 5. We are going to then grab a ruler again, measure another 1/2 inch from the top one, and create our third value scale, where we're going to use the orange and blue colors. We are going to then grab our pen, quickly write blue under the first one and orange under the 5th one, and draw our little arrow. On the side where I have the yellow, red, and blue, I am then going to write primary colors just to remind myself. And on the opposite side where I have the purple, green, and orange, I am going to write secondary colors. I am then going to turn the paper again and start coloring in the blue square. Again, make sure your color is nice and uniform. We are going to then lightly color in square number 2 and square number 3. We are going to then add orange very nice and neatly on square number 5, and then we are going to color in square number 4. I will then grab my blue again and go over number 4 lightly. I will grab my orange, go on top of number 3, and then blend in number 4 nicely. With the orange, I will also keep my pressure very light and go on top of number 2 and then blend it in again with a blue. As you can see, the blue of square number 2 is going to be lighter than the blue of square number 1. And then we are going to have the square number 4 is going to be a darker orange than square number 5, and square number 3 is going to be darker than square number 4. This is going to be our second video. So in this one, we created value scales with complementary colors. In the next one, we will create spheres.